Hey, fifth graders. All right, so today we're going to do, well, today, it's still the same day for me. For you guys, though, it could be a different day, or the same day perhaps. This is going to be 11.7, which is called estimated volume. And really, it's kind of silly that it says estimate volume because you're not really estimating necessarily, or at least I don't think that this lesson makes it clear that what you're doing is estimating. So for this, I have brought out this box of, well, not even box, it's a bag really of tissues, Kleenex. And so let's talk about this. Now, this is 3 different boxes of Kleenex that are together, right? But each of these boxes has their own volume. In fact, they all, in theory, should have the exact same volume. And then based on that, we could estimate the volume of a container that was holding this. So I realize that this is in plastic and it is like super close to being the exact same volume as the 3 boxes together. But let's pretend that rather than plastic, it's inside of another cardboard box that has just a little bit of wiggle room, right? So if we were to figure out the volume of that cardboard box based on the volume of one of these boxes of Kleenex, we wouldn't be exactly right? It would be an estimate. It would be close to that, but not exactly. That's what they mean with estimating. But for our purposes, really what it is you're going to find out what is the volume of the smaller container that's inside of a larger container. Based on that, what is the volume of the larger container? But really what it means is what is the volume of all of the smaller containers or the smaller things together. Okay, so I actually did the math here. I measured this out and figured out that one of these boxes of Kleenex is about 23 centimeters by 12 centimeters by 9 centimeters. Which works out to 2,484 centimeters cubed. Let's not do that. That's more complicated than what they're going to give you. In fact, a lot of times they'll just tell you, here's the volume of one of the shapes. Now, based on that, what is the volume of the whole thing? Which really goes back to unit cubes, right? Like, here's the 1 unit cube. Okay, now you have a stack of this many. How much do you have? Only now, instead of a unit cube that is just worth 1, your unit cube might be worth like 10 or 20 or 35 or something like that. But ultimately, you're still just going to multiply volume of 1 times however many there are. So in this case, there's 3. So let's say rather than having a silly volume like that, let's just say that it was 20 by 10 by 10. Okay, not exactly right, but super easy to work with. Okay, so 20 times 10 is 200, times 10 more is 2,000. Okay. So if one box has a volume of 2,000 centimeters cubed, well, what is the volume of a container that can hold 3 boxes and no more boxes? Well, we don't know the exact volume of it, but we can estimate that the volume is roughly 20,000, or 20,000, 2,000 times 3, right? So that is 6,000. So we would say big box volume equals about, okay, so a big box that can hold these 3 smaller boxes would have a volume of about 6,000 centimeters cubed. All right. So for this assignment, like I said, they will oftentimes give you the volumes. So if we take a look at number 1, this is on page 677. All right, it says each tissue box has a volume of 125 cubic inches. There are 9 tissue boxes in a larger box. The estimated volume of the box holding the tissues is going to be, so I'm sorry. I read the 9 part. That's something where you'd have to kind of go in there and count. It's a little bit difficult to see. It almost looks like there's 2 stacks of them, but there's not. There's just 1 stack. It's just got kind of a weird design on it. So if you look at the picture there's 9 boxes of tissue. So it would be 9 times 125, which if you do the math, that's 1,125 cubic inches. Okay. So the volume of that larger box is about that. It's not exactly that. If you look at the picture, you can kind of see they've got it. It's in gray. It's like very light, but you can see that it's a little bit bigger than what they're saying. It's not, plastic that's perfectly shaped around it. It is in fact a box that's a little bit bigger. However, the volume is roughly that. So yeah, the rest of these are all really kind of the same. It's just kind of taking a look and figuring out what the different volumes are, or looking at what the volumes are of the little thing, and then figuring out like, okay, based on that, what is the volume of this bigger shape? Yeah, really the hardest part is just figuring out how many of the different shapes there are in the boxes. So number 2 looks like 1, 2, 3, 4 times 1, 2, 3 times 2. I'm guessing that that's probably 16. Is it? 3, 4, 5, 6. Not 16. Just kidding. Okay. So I think that there is 24 boxes of chalk for number 2, and then number 3 is, if you just count the little pink ovals, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times 2 is 10. So there's probably 10 in number 2. Yeah. Anyway, do your best. If you have any questions, just let me know. A lot of times on this, really it comes down to, did you count the boxes properly, whether or not you got the right answer. So don't stress about it too much if you just happen to miscount it. It's especially tough on the homework where it's all in gray, it's in black and white. So it can be really hard because you have lines for the larger box and then you have lines for the little boxes, and it's really hard to tell which one is which. Probably something that they should have done in color, but well. So yeah, so do your best. But as long as you're understanding the fact that these little volumes combine together to make the big volume, that's the thing that we're looking for. So yeah, so good luck, and let me know. Let's see, what's 11.8? 11.8 is just going right back to unit cubes, basically. Only now we're just talking volume. Okay, cool. So basically, you should be able to get through 11.7, 11.8 at this point, and then 11.9. Actually, I tell you what, let's do 11.9 really fast. So 11.9 is they're taking away all the unit cubes. So you won't be able to count little shapes anymore. They're just giving you the numbers. However, honestly, I think it makes it easier. So they'll give you shapes like that, and that, and there. Okay, a beautiful little box. And they'll just tell you that this is, we'll say 5 centimeters. It looks like 15. Why not? And then this is probably, let's say 8. Okay, so I've given myself not the easiest math, but that's okay. Actually, it's not too bad. That worked out. Okay, so we have 15 centimeters up and down. We have 5 centimeters side to side this way, 8 centimeters going back. All right, and then they want you to tell what is the volume. So the way to figure out volume is just simply to multiply. So volume, which is V, is length times width times height. And look, if you don't learn anything else from this chapter, please learn this. This is kind of a thing that's going to be around for a long time. You're just going to need to know it as you progress through math. All right, length times width times height equals volume. Super easy. And fortunately, they don't give you a whole lot of other numbers. So they're not going to say like, oh, 15 centimeters over here, and 8 centimeters here, and 5 centimeters here. We have to figure out which numbers to multiply. They only give you the 3 that you need. Okay? So for this lesson, when in doubt, just multiply the 3 numbers that you have to deal with. All right? So we've got 8, 5, and 15. So we're going to just say 8 centimeters times 5 centimeters times 15 centimeters. Okay? So, and then straightforward, you can do it in any order, obviously, but in this case, we're just going to do 8 times 5 is 40, and then we'll have 15. And I know that 4 times 15 is 60, so this is going to be 600 centimeters cubed. Please, please, please don't forget the little 3. Either write cubic centimeters, either CU, CM, or inches or feet or whatever it is, or else put the little 3 there. Don't forget that. If you do, then your units are wrong, and then I count off points, and it's this whole thing. So yeah, so the volume is equal to 600 centimeters cubed. All right, hopefully that gets you through 11.9. 1110 is, oh, this is problem solving. We'll talk about that one in a separate video. And then 1111 is weird figures. So fun times. All right. Good luck. Let me know if you have any problems and if you need any help. And I will, of course, help you in any way that I can. Have a good day.